What's up, everybody? Everything on and good? How's everybody doing today? Teensy bit late. What's up, Chelsea? Unless it's Kelsey. I know some people go either way with it sometimes. What's up, Bexington? Donick, Charles, Stixie. I mean, not really a new background, but like, I used to do this in general. I just don't feel like having the big ass light on. So I was like, I'll set the mood a different way. Ugh. What's up, Lucky? Super bad. SJ, how's everybody's weekend so far? Considering it kind of just started. Spider-Man colors. Or Sith and Jedi. Well, thank you, Donick. I appreciate that. Have you watched Horrible Bosses? That's that movie with, well, I mean, there's plenty of movies with Jennifer Aniston, but that's, and Jason Bateman, I think. Am I getting the actors mixed up here? Okay, yeah, okay. I've seen part of it. I haven't seen all of it. I have not seen all of it. You like this a lot more? Just feel like it's a little less dynamic. I don't know. I can change the colors too, because I was doing that back for like the Karate Kid or for Cobra Kai and the Mandalorian reactions and stuff when I didn't feel like having the lamp on me. Should watch the Nostalgia Critic videos. I've watched the Nostalgia Critic for like 8 years. I don't know. However long he's been doing it, I've been watching a Nostalgia Critic on occasion. I don't watch every video anymore, but I used to. But I catch up on him every now and then. But yeah, I've seen parts of Horrible Bosses, and I'm not sure if it was the first one or the second one. But I haven't seen the entire one. It's raining where you are right now. Not a huge fan of the rain, because anytime it rains, it means around here you're pretty much at risk for your power going out. Just watched Wolf of Wall Street for the 33rd time. Damn. It's also a movie I have not watched yet. Excellent videos. Thank you, Steve. There was a reference to that in the latest What If episode that no one has caught yet. What was the reference? Do you know what's happening to Yolanda on Supergirl? Or, I'm sorry, Stargirl. I think that it's either one of two things. Her fears of Brainwave and what she did to Jake are being played upon by Eclipso's presence, or either one of them may have like survived in her brain psychically. So maybe like when she killed Brainwave, maybe a piece of him psychically is trapped in her brain. I think it's those two things. I think it's either the Eclipso's playing games with everybody, either by proxy or intentionally, or it's something implanted in her head by Brainwave to kind of like carry on in his own kind of weird vengeance. Watched American Psycho for the first time, and Christian Bale, honestly, just from that movie, could have played the Joker. That's man. American Psycho is a good film, and yeah, I can agree with that, man. Like, there's so many like great scenes in that. Like, and I know a lot of people like to meme and play around with the business card scene, and that is a really good scene. It's a really funny scene, but like, there's so many good scenes in that movie. I should watch the iCarly revival. I've only seen the first episode so far, and I haven't really. I've been too busy with everything else going on to actually like check it out. But I want to. I was waiting for the new rock stars to catch the reference, and they didn't. Well, what was the wet work line from War Machine? I mean, is that necessarily a horrible bosses reference when that's a common term for people that do hits and odd jobs? I mean, you can definitely take it as such if you'd like. Thank you, Gary James, for the sub. Though I don't think they're in here. I think the alerts are still on, but it's fine. It's fine. They don't get too much use since I stopped streaming over on Twitch and stuff. So I got them on here, so we'll let it play, I guess. So I like seeing them. I'm Irish. More rain than sun. Well, man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Irish accents are one of those ones I wish I had rather than this Appalachian accent that I have. Actually made my first Harrison Wells Lego figure. It's Harry Wells from Earth 2. Well, awesome, man. That's my favorite Wells. Favorite Wells, for sure. Do you think the 10 rings are from another dimension that could be the start of the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse and send a signal to Galactus and the Eternals? Could be part of the Galactus saga. I think there's definite illusions that could lead to Galactus, especially considering that Shang-Chi had the Dweller in Darkness in it. It could also be ties to Shumagorath or any of the other Fear Lords in general. It could be... I mean, it could be a whole number of things. I'm wondering if it has some kind of link to the type of things that we see, the type of technology that we see created by the Eternals. I think it either might have something to do with that, or maybe something tied to the power cosmic, possibly, and then in turn would tie into Galactus. But I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if they're from another dimension or not, but I do think they have, it's some kind of beacon or warning. But I really don't know. But I do think it's probably alluding to Galactus in some way. It could intertwine the Fantastic Four, the Multiverse of Madness, find out the ring's origin and celestial backgrounds for Galactus. Possibly for sure. Can we expect Doom Patrol and Book of Boba Fett reactions? If it's Star Wars and it's coming to Disney Plus, there will be reactions to it. And I've been doing Doom Patrol since season 1. I did a season 1 review. I didn't react to each episode, but season 2 I reacted to every episode. So I'm going to be reacting to season 3 of Doom Patrol for sure. Those, I wouldn't expect those to be very prompt though, because I work when those come out. So I try to record Titans on my break since they're stacking up. There's going to be some overlap. Titans and Doom Patrol are going to be airing at the same time on the same day. So I would like to do, I don't know. It'll be weird trying to find a balance for that. I might try to get somebody to help me edit some of those, because I don't like, it's really rough when it's like multiple shows on a single day. I finally have someone helping with Tuesdays to at least take one of the 3 reactions I have to do off my hands. So I might have to work with, see if I can work with them to help me out on Thursdays too. What's up, GX? I'm doing all right. What's up, Ghost Nerd? Not too much, just chilling with you guys. Got my wine. I also got some tea. How many episodes are left for Supergirl? 9. We got 9 episodes left. We just crossed the halfway mark with episode 11. There's only 20 episodes total for the season. You do it like a nostalgia reaction on your channel. I don't know if I would do that. I mean, his videos are usually pretty long, and I don't know. I don't know if I would react to a nostalgia critic episode, because I don't really especially get the same kind of reactions as I'm used to when I was a little bit younger. I still watch him for like the opinions every now and then, but as far as like the comedy and stuff like that, it's like, I don't think this will happen, but I hope that Arrow fans don't like hate on Hawkeye show, and I don't think it will happen. I mean, I'm a hardcore Arrow fan. I'm not gonna hate on Hawkeye whatsoever. It's two very different types of shows. Let's see. Also, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Through a rough patch this month, and your videos, new and old, have definitely helped. Well, that's good to hear, SJ. Like, it's still surprising to me and humbling to me to hear like those sort of things, man. I'm glad they do something for somebody. I started this just like, you know, not to add to anybody's existential dread or anything like that, but like as you get older, you know, it's harder and harder to like, it's for not for everybody, but for a lot of people, it's harder and harder to like hang out with your friends and stuff as everybody's doing their own thing. Like, I'm working all the time. People move away and stuff like that. Like, the people I used to talk to about all this stuff, like, I don't get to talk to as much. So like, after a while, and I've been wanting to do stuff like this for a really long time, because I've always been really obsessive with the shows I watch, the movies I watch, and I love talking about them and stuff. And I've, you know, for probably like the past 8 years, I've wanted to do something like this, but it took me until like 3 years ago to finally be in a place where I felt like I was in a good place and a confident enough place to like at least try, because I always made excuses as to why I didn't make videos for like so long. But like after a while, the motivation came out of a need to talk about this stuff, because I don't get to see those friends as much anymore. We don't get to talk as often, so I have a lot of these opinions and feelings that I just have that I want to share and talk about, and I got no one to talk about unless it's like months later when we finally sync up our schedules. So like, I was like, I need to vent these things, man. So that's like how this kind of started. And then I saw the rejects, and I think that was when I really tried to like, okay, if I'm going to do this, let's kind of ease into it with this sort of like reaction format. And it's a lot of fun to do these. And it's so that's why it's kind of become a little bit of what, well, not a little bit, it's kind of become what we do, because it's a lot of fun, because it's like watching things with your friends. And like, I fell down that rabbit hole myself. Like, most of the time I spend on watching YouTube stuff, it's watching other reactors react to things that I like to watch as well, or watching movie news stuff or podcasts and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's opened the world, and it's like the same. So I definitely get where you're coming from, SJ, because a lot of that same stuff has helped me, because I feel like if I didn't have this outlet as well to like talk to you guys about this stuff, to talk about you know, any of the things that we kind of talk about or vent about and whatever, I would just be bottling it up, and I would probably explode. So it's kind of like a I don't know, weird kind of therapy, I guess. It's also helped me get better at, obviously much better at public speaking. Also, my previous job made me do that as well, so for sure had to come out of that shell a little bit. And every now and then, like, you know, some asshat's gonna like annoy me, but I'm getting better at that too. What's up? Hey, Omni, do you think Killmonger being a villain killing oppressors is an absolute point in time? I wonder how that idea is going to come up in the future in the movies. Now, the way I describe an absolute point in time is either, or interpreted the absolute point in time thing is as like a constant. Like an absolute point in that universe for Doctor Strange was the point in which it caused him to go and become Doctor Strange. So, like, if that event never happened, he can't go into the future to get the power to come back. And if he changes that and undoes that, he undoes his future and unravels his timeline, because he can't have come back if he didn't let that happen so that he could become Doctor Strange and come back. You see? So it's like one of those things where, like, it's a paradox, and by creating that paradox, like, he would unravel that reality. So it's an absolute point in his timeline. I'm not sure that it's necessarily the nexus point that created that universe, but it's the point in his life that he can't undo, because it would lead to him getting to this path and doing this action. So, man, time travel, it's like it's rough, and sometimes it's hard to explain and get your thoughts out about certain things, but like yeah, it's in all, I think it's like a paradoxical thing, because he can't go if the thing that made him become Doctor Strange got undone, and the only way he was able to undo it was by becoming Doctor Strange, then he can't have become it to undo it, to then undo it and then come back. So that's what I think, man. So I don't think that I don't think anything that we saw in the Killmonger episode could necessarily be defined as an absolute point. Maybe, I don't know. I still think it's up to interpretation so far, but I think we'll see. Just wait and see. Who has had a more tragic backstory in the MCU? Spider-Man with his parents and Uncle Ben, and maybe Ned. And May dying in No Way Home. I don't believe that. Thor or the Scarlet Witch? I'd say Scarlet Witch, because not only she lost her parents due to a bomb, to a war she had nothing to do with. They were struggling and underprivileged in every sense of imagination. She lost her family. Her and her brother got brought into a cult and imprisoned and experimented on and twisted and turned into murderers, and then everyone she loved had died. It's like, yeah, I feel like Spider-Man, at least, yeah, he's gone through some hardship, he's had some losses, but like he carried on. He still had family, he still had people to rely on, he still had a fairly happy childhood. He was never really destroyed by a lot of the things that happened. And same with Thor. Like, I think he still had enough of a support structure moving forward that he was able to go the way he did. And Wanda just unraveled. Like, even when she thought she had a family, she was still always kind of the outsider in that family. So I don't think outside of Vision, she ever really felt like she fit in with the Avengers. What's up, Mandy? Just popped on to say hi. Hope you're well. Sorry I can't stay on tonight. Have to be up early in the morning. You know how much I love your channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mandy. Hope you had some good gin today, and I hope you have some rest for your early morning tomorrow. Doug Walker has been doing Nostalgia Critic for 10 years. I was going to say 10 years, but I didn't want to like over guess, because it feels like it's been 10 years for me, like since I've been playing around with that. I can't remember how I actually discovered that channel. I think it was from his room review, was how I stumbled upon that. No, that's how I found out about the room. I think it was Transformers, actually. I can't remember. I don't remember what my first one was. Horrible bosses, they try and hire a hitman under the description of wet work. Turns out not to be. And the guy shows up as an actor played by Mr. Fantastic, so I think that's why it could be. It could be, but it would be a really obscure one. It'd be a really roundabout way to make a reference out of that. Can't wait for the next episode of Stargirl, man. Me too, man. I love it. We're at the Empire Strikes Back of the season, so I'm excited to see where they go. Man, Jesus. Nothing spilled that time, but like these last 3 streams, I've always spilled my wine in some way, so I'm going to try my best not to do that right now. I think Marvel does Hawkeye all wrong. I cannot be more excited about Spider-Man No Way Home since it comes out on the 17th. My birthday is a day later. Well, nice. That's going to be a fun little birthday for you. What do you think Marvel does wrong with Hawkeye? Do I react to 3C films? I think I've reacted to... No, I've reacted to Cosmic Wonder. One of Cosmic Wonder's videos. I have not... I watched 3C. I've just not done any reactions to any of his videos. Arrow versus Hawkeye in a long-range archery battle of all three strengths, like Clint's exploding arrows. Arrow... Well, the Green Arrow also has exploding arrows. I can't remember all of their different skill sets. I think Death Battle did a really good analysis on those two, but I can't remember who actually came out on top, because that's one of the... I wouldn't say few. There are a lot of theirs that I still disagree with, but that was one of the ones that I could go either way on, and I can't remember how that one turned out, but I remember I didn't have a problem with it. Because they're so, like, character-wise, they're so, like, even. Like, in the way they were built and all of that, as far as their powers and all that junk. Let's see. Yeah, okay, they declared Hawkeye as the winner. And like I said, I could go either way with that. I think Hawkeye's a little more ridiculous in the comics when it comes to how much he can do, but it's just barely. If like the MCU Hawkeye versus the Green Arrow, I think that those two versions would win, but I would side with the comic book counterpart probably. And I'm a DC guy, so, like, I don't know. I also don't have any skin in the fight because I don't like the comic book version of Green Arrow, and I know that's, like, an unpopular opinion. Let's see. The recent episode of Stargirl that came out was insane. I love the fight scene. The cuts were amazing. I thought the fight scene was saved by the editing. Like, I know that people were talking up the stunt team and the fights and all that stuff, and I was like, I think they put together a fun action sequence, but I think the fight... When you talk about the fighting itself, the stunts themselves, aside from the way they made them look and the way they shot them, were okay. Like, I wasn't blown away by it. What blew me away was the editing and how they, like, staged the fight rather than the actual fight itself. And I think that the way they staged it, the way they shot it, and the way they edited it was a lot better than the actual what was happening on screen to me. It elevated it for sure. I think that the other way around, MCU and Hawkeye fans will instead scrutinize Arrow and Arrowverse fans. I don't see that either, because I don't feel like any of the Marvel fans really crap on the Arrowverse all that much as they crap on, like, the DCEU so much. Is it Wolverine game and Marvel Spider-Man 2 game in the same universe? We don't know yet. Same company is making both games, so I think it's be fair to assume that they would, but I don't want to assume anything either. What's up, Oscar? Hey, Omni, love your vids and the things you react to. Well, I'm glad we have similar tastes, my man. Thank you for that, buddy. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I think in The Flash Season 8, they should do, like, an episode, Whatever Happened to Harry and Jesse After Crisis, just like Batwoman, like, whatever happened to take Kate Kane, or whatever happened to Kate Kane. I would like that too, but I think it's fair to say they're probably still dead in this universe. Considering Harry, his consciousness was in Nash, so Harry died. So, I mean, I think it's just as simple as they were on Earth 2 when Earth 2 got erased by the dark matter. Or the antimatter, sorry. Harry is actually my favorite, too, on the Flash TV show. Yeah, I think he's my favorite Harrison variant. I think there'll be other around. See, Hawkeye fans will... Oh, I already read that one. I just rewound a little bit. Oh, apparently there's a couple I missed. You think Phase 4 will be different than the first 3 phases? I think it's already pretty different. It's definitely setting up the stage in a much different way. It's like the scale is completely different, but it also makes it hard to really kind of like set a similar set of stakes, because we got ground level films that don't impact all of reality, like Shang-Chi, which I guess it could have had the Dweller in Darkness like succeeded and broke free. But like and then there's Black Widow, obviously, which, let's be honest, didn't really leave much of an impact on anything at all, except for the post-credit scene. I don't know where the ground level stuff is going. It's meant to fit in, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. I don't know where all of that stuff fits in to where they're going with all this cosmic stuff, with all these multiversal stuff. Like, I don't know where the trajectory is. And I feel like we kind of had a little bit of this in Phase 2 and 3 with the Guardians films, when I'm like, okay, well, now we're in space. It was just those teams, though. It wasn't multiple movies set over there, except if you include Captain Marvel. But like, it's like, I don't know where we're going, or how they're going to intersect necessarily, if that makes sense. It's hard to talk about it because we don't really have a lot of information. I don't really see that. I mean, the Arrowverse and the MCU debates will always happen, but I don't think Hawkeye fans will honestly hate on Arrow. I mean, they're also, Arrow's over, so I don't feel like there's a need to like go back and talk on it. I mean, obviously you can't compare the shows, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. You can't compare a TV show that has 6 episodes with the budget of a large, high budget summer blockbuster movie to a show that's got a much smaller budget. And not only do they have a smaller budget, they have to spread that budget over 20 episodes generally. And surprisingly enough, Arrow came out pretty consistent, but it's like you can't compare the shows that much. What you might get a comparison of is just Oliver Queen versus Clint Barton overall. But anybody that compares the shows themselves against one another is just trying to stir the pot, because there is no comparison. You cannot compare those two. It's like I've said before, it's like comparing a sitcom to Breaking Bad, or like, let's say, Law and Order to Breaking Bad. Like, they're not the same thing. Or what's a fantasy like broadcast television show? It's like comparing The Walking Dead to Game of Thrones. Well, Walking Dead's not technically a broadcast because it's AMC's a premiere network. You know what I'm trying to get at anyway. It's not the same thing. I think The Flash season 8, they could do like an episode. Read that one. Recommend seeing the Nostalgia Critics X-Men reviews. I watched them. I have already watched those. And I just watched his Dark Phoenix one the other day. Man, I'm already behind today because I went on a tangent. Shit. Sorry guys if I'm lagging behind here. It's not you, I promise. It's like just me just being really slow and going off on little tangents, so it's hard to I'm putting myself behind here. I'm self-employed and work from home, so your vids do help. I just put up your vids on my TV through the PlayStation and work away on the laptop. Makes time goes faster. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I mean, I do the same thing when I'm working, because right now I don't know if there's a plan for us to return to the office, but I'm working from home as well. So, I mean, I get to multitask a little bit, and sometimes I edit on my downtime for work a little bit, and on my lunch breaks and stuff like that. So I'm working on videos, or I'm just always listening to something. Actually made a logo figure of myself. Nice, Donick. I'd love to, like, how do you make these these custom Lego figures? I think it'll happen despite Arrow being a good show. They still hate on a Hawkeye and Disney Plus show. Already has good to great buzz around it. Still remember the hype around the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. It was insane. Yeah, I was working at a. What's funny about it is because there's the leaks that got out about the ending of Endgame. You know, what happened to Tony Stark got out from people who, I guess, early screenings, or I think there was a leaked version of the film that got out. Because I worked at an IT desk, and we did IT support for a couple of different universities, and one of them had somebody just spam the email list that went out to the entire campus community for one of the schools, just within the subject line, Tony Stark dies. I was like, what a dick. Just like, because the hype, you had a lot of people hyped up, and it just made the stakes higher and higher for spoilers, man. I was gonna ask why I watch reactions, and yeah, it's like watching with your friends. You Blind Wave rejects are amazing, but also if I miss something, you'll point it out. Hopefully we'll point it out. Every now and then there's the thing that one of us will all miss, and especially me, because like when I'm in it, I'm not always looking for things, because when I watch something, I'm not there to analyze it. I'm there to soak in the story, the art, and the characters, because I'm more of an empathetic person. So like, I'm there for the story and to immerse myself in what's going on. And when I do that, I'm not always looking at the background or looking at anything. If I'm looking around the room, that's usually a bad sign of what's happening on the screen. If it doesn't have my attention, that's not good. Typically, it's not only, I usually don't notice things until it's like on the 5th, 4th, 20th watch usually. Sometimes though, I'll be like, but like that, I feel like for me, maybe it happens more often than I think, but it's like, I feel like I don't really do that often. But yeah, that's why I love New Rockstars, man, because they just go through it frame by frame, and every now and then there's a thing or two that they miss though, but very rarely, or something that I might interpret as something else or whatever. You know what I mean? Should make a Lego figure of yourself. Again, I don't know how you go about that. I'd love to have my own Funko, and they do have like these. They initiated this like one little like Funko, like where you can build your own, but they don't have beanies. They don't have a beanie option, so sad. They also don't have a glasses option, so like I'd have to get contacts if I wanted it to be somewhat accurate. Is Loki/Sylvie and Mobius making a return in the Multiverse of Madness? All I've heard, and it's still just a rumor, is that Loki is in Multiverse of Madness, so I don't know if all of them will be back or not, which is harder to say for Green Arrow cough, the cough of the Canaries. Lol. Lol. Do you think people will compare Hawkeye show to Arrow a lot? If they do, it's going to be a very shallow comparison in that they both use bows. Because you could compare Hawkeye to Katniss Evergreen. Like, it's just really easy to compare all these archers. The shows themselves are going to be vastly different. Both in content, range, and quality, and scope. So yeah, anybody making comparisons about the two, it's going to be a shallow comparison. Out of these three villains, who is the strongest? Thanos, Darth Vader, or Darkseid? Well, Thanos needs the gauntlet to really be, I mean, he's a threat without the gauntlet. But like, he's only like a huge threat with the gauntlet. Vader is powerful for sure, but he's not like comic book powerful. Okay, to be fair, he couldn't beat comic book Thanos, but I think he could beat the MCU Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet in a 1v1. Darkseid would stomp them all. If we're talking about the films, Darkseid would stomp them all. If we're talking about the comics, even if Thanos got lucky enough with the Infinity Gauntlet to destroy Darkseid's body, he still can't kill Darkseid. If we're talking comic book iterations, Darth Vader can't, he just does not stand a chance against either of them. It just depends on the iterations of each one. But I still think even in the comics, like Darkseid would win in a long, drawled out game of chess between the two. Thing is, in the comics, Thanos isn't like a mastermind. He's not a huge like thinker. Everything he does in the comics is just because he's horny for Lady Death, which is why I think the MCU version of it is a lot more compelling than the comic book version of Thanos. And Thanos is based on Darkseid, so there is also that. If that's a fun little fact. They undermined Hawkeye and made him seem weak. I mean, it's true, but he's still a high-level assassin and possibly deaf, making him echo, like, in terms of martial arts. Why would he be deaf? I'm confused. Also, Omni, I suggest Google TV tropes. Troubled production creators like Bryan Singer, the problems he caused to the point I just keep asking why bring him back. Did anybody bring him back? Has he come back? Yeah, he hasn't worked since since all those allegations came out. So he's got no projects going on. So I'm not too sure what you're talking about. Who do you think would win, Arrowverse Arrow or DCEU Batman? DCEU Batman. I think Oliver would pump him full of arrows and he would just keep coming. He's also supernaturally strong in the DCEU, and if like we saw what he did against like those armed dudes, like with his armor, Oliver would put up a good fight, but I think he would get raffle stomped by the DCEU Batman. Luke Skywalker, Neo, Ben Solo versus Neo. Well, Neo can only fight people in the Matrix. Like, if you are considering Neo and his powers, he is only effective in the Matrix. And he can, outside of the Matrix, he can only control things that are tied to the machine network. So, outside of the Matrix, he's just a dude who can turn machines off with his brain. In the Matrix, though, he can pretty much control reality. In the Matrix, he could beat them both. Outside of it, they would just slaughter him. Nostalgia Critic actually made 3 movies. Kick-Assia. Yeah, I've seen all of those. I was obsessed with Kick-Assia for a while, but like, while I still like the content that Nostalgia Critic puts out, the behind-the-scenes stuff by the company that owns them is really disgusting. So that's why I don't really talk about that channel too much. Like, because there's a lot of creators that got really abused and by that whole system. But he's like one of the few that have survived a lot of it. Mostly because he's kind of trapped in it contractually, but as the whole debacle with that little mini series he did, I forgot what it was called, when he tried to cancel the Nostalgia Critic to do that other show. I forget what it was called, and it didn't really work, so then they came back to Nostalgia Critic and changed the format. But yeah, I'm even blocked by some people, I think, just because I follow some of the former Channel Awesome people in particular because of the drama. I was like, I liked you all. I wasn't part of this. Because it got pretty bad, man. There's like a huge Google Doc that like goes over all kinds of shit that happened on that channel in the behind the scenes. And it's a lot of it's just disgusting and like make you think of a lot of people in a very, very different way if you watch them. I'm just there for the content though. I really like the character and the analysis really, so I'm still there for that, but that's pretty much it anymore. It got out of hand. Do you think But that, yeah, when I was really liking those films that they made, that was before the curtain got pulled down and like how like messed up the productions were on a lot of those films. When the curtain comes down, a lot of things like it makes you like rethink or reposition a lot of stuff that you used to really enjoy. Like I used to enjoy those films a lot for how cheesy they were. They were still done with a lot of fun stuff in mind, but like I can't really enjoy them in the same way anymore. Do you think people will care about Jeremy Renner and Hawkeye because there are some MCU stans who hate the character? I don't know, man. I agree. I know what you're saying. Most people do not give a shit about Jeremy Renner. Not really Jeremy Renner himself, but the MCU has not really done much aside from a couple of moments here and there that have really given the character of Hawkeye that much depth. So I feel like it's going to be, I think the biggest challenge of this show is going to be winning over people who have not been huge fans of Hawkeye up to this point. And there's going to be a lot of people that probably just don't want to change their opinions at all. So we'll just have to see. Excited to see which episode, if and when, the Watcher interferes. I think it's going to happen. I think it's definitely going to happen eventually. Do you think it's possible that we could see what if characters in live action? Yeah, we've talked about that a couple times. I think it's I think we're going to see the Dark Doctor Strange, and I think we're going to see Captain Carter in Multiverse of Madness. With people asking for a Secret Wars movie, and there is already a TV show confirmed, well, that's Secret Invasion, which could lead to Secret Wars. Do you think there could be 2 Secret Wars Marvel projects? It's possible. It's possible. That's going to be insane. Like, if they build up to that, Secret Wars, that will be... woo! Nuts. I feel like it's not going to be anytime soon, though. Will Hawkeye have 6? It's going to be 6 episodes. They've already confirmed that. If 6, do you think there will be a season 3? I mean, there's got to be a season. We got to have a, okay, typo. Sorry, I saw that next line. A season 2. I mean, that's not a guarantee. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not getting to season 2. WandaVision's not getting to season 2. It could just be a one-off, especially considering it's transitioning his role to a new character. So, like, who knows? I don't know. It could. But then again, the season 2 could not have Clint Barton in it. It could just, season 2, if they did do season 2 of Hawkeye, it could just be the new Hawkeye in season 2. You know, Kate Bishop. So, don't know. Maybe a cliche question, but how do you balance work life? I'm 17, starting work soon, so just wondering, especially with wanting to do YouTube at some point in the future. I'll be honest, a lot of it is I don't have a healthy sleep schedule. Yeah. Because, I mean, I didn't really before, like, even before doing all this. Like, I'm one of those people, like, once I have a long day at work, I come home. It does not matter how much time I have in that time. I always try to give myself as much me time as possible to feel like most of my day wasn't taken up by work, you know? So I watch a lot of stuff. Sometimes I'm like, it'll come to like midnight or 1 in the morning. I'm like, I still feel like I haven't done enough for myself today. And that's when I start losing sleep. Because then I just like, I gotta, like, even if I don't have any videos to watch, if there's not any games that I have to play or anything like that, sometimes I'm just like trying to find something to keep me occupied so I feel like I made the most out of my day. And by that point, I usually only get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep before having to restart the cycle the next day. With YouTube, it's been a lot more, it's been taking up more of my personal time. But thankfully, in a lot of ways, it overlaps with a lot of that as well. Because I was going to be watching a lot of these shows anyway. I watch a lot of these videos that we cover anyway. So, like, it helps in a way that some of these videos, even though it might take me an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to edit a video, I was going to be watching what I watched regardless. So, it does, there's a little bit of overlap, but yeah, it still does take out of a lot of the time where I just would like to be not worried about anything, not worried about getting a video uploaded, not worried about how fast am I going to be able to get this edited or whatever. It can be very stressful at times, but like once it's out there, once it's done, it's usually fine. I used to play a lot of games, man, and there's a lot of games that I want to play, but I don't have the energy a lot of the time anymore. So there's some sacrifices here and there for sure whenever it comes down to trying to do all of it at once. That's why I definitely envy people that do this full time, because they can dedicate all to one thing, where I'm kind of split across, trying to have a personal life, trying to also do this and work a normal 9-to-5 job on top of it all. Especially on Wednesday mornings, when Tuesday night we have 2 shows that I cover, and then whatever Disney Plus moving their shows to Wednesdays really fucked up my sleep schedule more than it already was, because that puts 3 shows on a single day in any given point. So like I'm trying to get 3 edits done that day, but I have help. I got help for that day, so I can get a little bit more sleep. Anyway, sorry to vent a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie about how majestic it is, because in a lot of ways there's a lot of stress, and whether it's self-imposed or imposed externally, there's a lot of stress that comes with trying to juggle a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, it might not be great for my body, but I enjoy doing it, so there is that. Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. MCU canon? Incorrect. No, it is not. Not yet. The multiverse, though, may make it canon, but as of current, it is considered legacy Marvel content. It is not MCU. Mean to say what you think about Kinberg. He admitted the Dark Phoenix failed because of him rather than blame the cast, where Singer blamed Routh for the failure of Superman Returns, and yes, that happened. Singer needs to blame his writer, his direction, and whatever. Routh did great. Routh he had the look, he portrayed the character fine. The fault is on the director. And Singer, we already know, as the truth has come to light, is a piece of shit. So, fuck him. Kinberg was not a big budget director. I think that was his first. Dark Phoenix was his very first directorial film. The first time he's ever directed a film. He's produced a lot of films, but that's his first time he directed anything. And yeah, so he knew. And he admitted, which makes me like him more, even though people have given him shit, and I've given him shit for like his writing for the previous Dark Phoenix. So this is his second time trying to make a Dark Phoenix film. At least this time, he was like, all right, well, I wrote it last time. I'm going to at least try to adapt it again, because he clearly wants to tell the story. So he took it over himself, and he tried, man. He did what a lot of people wouldn't do. And he was like, okay, I'll try to do this myself. And he admitted. I was like, this is my first time. It wasn't that great. It's on me. I'm not experienced. So like, that made me like that even more. Singer's just a dick and a disgusting person. Anyway, I think the CW should actually make Flash TV show Lego from the Arrowverse. I don't know about that. It could be interesting as like a little spinoff thing, but that'd be interesting. What am I expecting for DC fandom? I think I'm most excited for the Flash trailer, because it seems to be the most important DC film. Yeah, I'm excited to actually see something from that film. I hope we have a Black Adam trailer. I can't wait to see the second trailer for The Batman. There's a lot of stuff I'm really excited for, but those are the big 3, I think. I'm looking forward to Shazam, but I'm more excited for those 3 things out of everything that's possibly going to be coming in that. Maybe some Green Lantern news about the show. Maybe some more news about the other HBO shows, like the Constantine show, the Justice League Dark thing, though I don't think we'll get, we won't get trailers, but I'd like to see them talk about what they want to do with it. But I don't know. Those three movies are the things that I'm the most excited to see from DC Fandom. What has been my favorite Phase 4 project so far? Mine is Loki and Shang-Chi. Yeah, I agree with that. As far as the Disney Plus shows, I think Loki and Shang-Chi are my favorite. If I had to pick only one, I'm probably going to go Shang-Chi just because I've seen it 3 times in theaters so far. I absolutely love that movie. Actually, I mean, WandaVision was so good too. I don't know, man. My mood always changes all the time, dude. No Way Home needs to hurry up. Yes, it does. But it's coming out when they said it's coming out. So it's coming out in December. So we just gotta wait, man. We gotta wait. What was your theater like when the portal scene happened during Endgame? Screaming. Lots of screaming. There was a lot of screaming in the third act of that movie. From the hammer to the fight with Thanos to just, oh man, all of it. All of it, man. And listen, I live in a fairly rural area, and those videos you've seen with these huge theaters, with those turnouts, you've seen the videos, like the live reaction to Endgame. It was just like that here. Just like that. Remember when people thought Wolverine and Deadpool would be in Endgame, though? Looking back, it was an insane theory. Yeah. People, there's so many insane stuff like that. Like, they're off-the-wall, unfounded theories and stuff. People that believe the rumor mills, or a lot of people that still share, we got this covered articles like, oh, did you see this? And it's just, we got this covered, lying about shit like they always do. I stopped watching Flash so many seasons ago. I wish they put the same effort they had in the early seasons. Like, I still love that episode where he's stuck in the Speed Force because of a bomb about to blow. I think that was one of the best episodes of the show, is that episode, Flash Time. Oh, that was such a good episode. And I don't know if it's the same lack of effort so much as a lack of creativity that's left. Because they've exhausted a lot of what you can do with the character without trying to jump the shark too much. The Flash is in general a hard character to make like a long running show about in general without creating problems for yourself, because it's a character that should be able to stop all of these problems well before they even happen. So it just the Flash is just a writing nightmare in general, and I'm surprised that the first couple seasons ended up as good as they were, because I didn't have high hopes for it when they announced the spinoff coming out of Arrow season 2. So like, I'm surprised, man. I am. But yeah, they need to change things up in some way moving forward, because like it's become a little ridiculous. Let's see. What's the next game I'm excited to play? Halo Infinite. I think that's the next game coming out. That's the only game coming out this year I'm really excited to play. Like, I can't wait. I love I had some complaints in the little rollout that they had that we streamed for the beta of it. And one of my major complaints about it, about the radar, apparently was also very echoed by everybody else. I also made a pretty heated comment on one of their threads about it. I was like, it was level-headed. It wasn't like your usual Twitter assault or anything like that, but I was just like very matter-of-fact about they need to fix that broken, stupid-ass decision that they made to change the radar in it. And they did. They announced they were taking it back to the way it used to work. So, woo! But yeah, that's the next big game. And then, of course, you guys know, after that, it just depends on the order of things. It's going to be, obviously, I'm going to be playing the Spider-Man 2 game. I'm going to be playing Wolverine. I'll be playing God of War, Ragnarok. I will 100% be playing Knights of the Old Republic when that comes out, but that's probably like 3 years away before that comes out. I want to play Pokemon Arceus when that drops. So yeah, I got a couple of games lined up so far, and honestly, I'm kind of intrigued and interested in this Nickelodeon Smash Brothers clone. it looks pretty decent, like pretty decently put together. And it's got Avatar Aang in there, so I'm down. And my birthday is December 19th, Sunday. I actually might fight Loki in his TV outfit. Nice. I'm excited to see Harrison Ford coming back as Indiana Jones in the 5th movie. I'm curious about Indy 5. After Indy 4, I'm just like, can we just let it die or reboot it? Like, there was that fan casting of Chris Pratt as the next Indiana Jones. I was like, okay, cool, let's do that. But as far as Harrison Ford goes, as staying as Indy and just being an old man Indy running around and breaking his arm and having to close production for a couple of weeks just because he couldn't hold up his physicalness in a rehearsal. I don't know, man. It doesn't really bode well. I'm not really excited. I'm not excited for it. I'm just morbidly curious about how it's going to turn out. Indiana Jones, like Back to the Future, is one of those things where I'm just like, can we just let it sit? Let it go, maybe? Because especially after that last one, I was just like, maybe we should stop. As for noticing things, Nightwing making a sandwich in the last Titans episode. Vegemite on the counter. Aussie Brenton asked for that, I bet. More than likely. More than likely. I don't think anybody else on the cast would have been like, give me some Vegemite. I've still never actually tasted for myself. I just know, the general meme about it. I'm going to miss Daniel Craig as Bond. Me too, man. Especially after that little speech he put out. I wish we could got to hear the entire speech, but I was excited for that. Hawkeye has a hearing aid in the trailer. See, I was curious if that was a hearing aid or if that was like a mic, like a comm. Dua Lipa will be the next Bond song. Will perform the next Bond song. I mean, it's hard to say. We don't really. There's no plans for whatever the next Bond thing is going to be. After this, and who knows how that's going to go, because this movie is going to lose a shit ton of money. It is unfeasible, impossible, inconceivable even for this movie to succeed in theaters. So I'm wondering, I don't think it's going to hurt the prospects of a future Bond film. It's just how things turned out with the pandemic, but I do think that they are going to take some time to structure things out for sure with going forward. This is I just lost a bunch of stuff here. Man, I'm so behind. I'm sorry, guys. This is my first season of watching Titans show. I go back to the earlier seasons. Titans should. You're saying should or show? If you're asking me if you should go back to the earlier seasons, no. I hate season. I think season 1 is trash. I think season 2 is better, but still horribly disappointing. Season 3 is the only season of Titans I've actually enjoyed so far. But that's just me. Plenty of people disagree with me. So feel free to check it out on your own go. I personally wouldn't recommend it. I wonder if the JSA is going to bring up Spectre to deal with Eclipso. They could. We don't know. Ben, a.k.a. Kylo Ren. Yep, that's who that is. Do you think that Jack Sparrow could come back in Pirates of the Caribbean 6? Well, I mean, they said the next Pirates movie was going to be a reboot. And Disney doesn't want to work with Johnny Depp anymore. So I doubt it. We are in the Matrix. Yes. If you do like a Lego live stream, like a Lego DC Supervillains live stream, you can make yourself as a minifigure. Oh, okay. So that's how you were doing it. I've played some of the Lego games, but I just can't stay invested for them too long. Do you think that they should have every Harrison Wells come back in the Flash TV show, or should they stick with one? Well, they're not going to have any. There's no more Wells, unless it's like a guest thing. because Tom Cavanaugh is not part of the cast anymore. So I think they're done. I think they've said goodbye to all of the Welleses, except for Timeless Wells. But I think if we see him again, it's only going to be in like a cameo and case by case basis. Still waiting on Cars 4. I still have not seen any of the Cars films. Is Toy Story 4 the last one? Probably not. I think I remember them talking about a Toy Story 5, but I don't remember. But Toy Story 4 did great, and it was really well received, and I really liked it. I really was doubting it being good, and it was actually pretty decent. Really good, actually. What has happened with Miss Marvel? Execs from Disney stated in an interview that it would be dropped this year. Maybe Feige wanted to push it. Oh, I'm pretty sure they already... It hasn't been officially said, but some sources on the TV side of things, I think it was like TV Guide Insiders or something like that, had mentioned that they're hearing it's going to be pushed into next year. Because, yeah, I know the last public thing said was that it was supposed to come out this year. But it's not going to fit on the schedule, man. It would be out while Book of Boba Fett is going on, and they're not going to do that because that will just skew viewership. What do you want in a sequel if The Matrix blows us out of the park? I can't even tell you. I don't know. I really don't know, because The Matrix is one of those things where I don't feel like any of my ideas would be as cool as what they end up giving us. So, I don't know. I'd love to see them actually somehow take out the Machine City and just reclaim the surface in the real world in the end. I also hope that The Matrix Resurrection is much closer to the first Matrix rather. Well, they've said it's more of a spiritual sequel to the first Matrix, but it is still a sequel to all of them, but it's more piggybacking off of the themes of the first film rather than Cloud Atlas or Jupiter Ascending, because I cannot handle another Jupiter Ascending. I have not seen Jupiter Ascending or Cloud Atlas. Which DC trailer do you taking the show in? I think the Batman. I don't know. I don't know. The Flash, I think, has the highest potential to blow us away. I think Black Adam could surprise a lot of people. But from what we saw last year, I'm expecting the Batman to give us a stellar fucking trailer. So I think I think it might be the Batman. Do I remember that movie Echo? No. No, nothing rings a bell to me. Who's your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean character? Mine is Captain Jack Sparrow. Mine is Barbossa. Barbossa's my favorite Pirates character. I think the next Bond may try to be a bit more comedic in tone. The Craig films were inspired by the grittiness of the Bourne films, so I feel that the next Bond will also change with the times. True, they might, or they might try to ground it even more. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do next. I wouldn't mind a campy Bond, but I don't know that would work today all that well. But I could be wrong. I think Stargirl Season 2 is not as good as Season 1, but still better than the other CW shows besides Superman and Lois. Most recent episode was great. I think, yeah. The thing is, Stargirl Season 1 started off with a bang with the introduction of the JSA and the ISA and with that fight. And there was always this looming tension of Jordan and his way he's kind of looming over the entire town. You also had the push and pull between all of the kids and everything. So I don't know. This one's slower. It's taking a lot more time to build up. So I think it's going to be a little bit before that comes up. Thank you, Lucky, for the super chat. My top 3 choices for Mephisto, Pacino, Pitt, I'm assuming Brad Pitt, and Christoph Waltz. Ooh. Out of those, I would have to go with Christoph Waltz. I know the rumor is was always Al Pacino, but I think out of those 3, I would go with Christoph Waltz, personally. I think he's fantastic. But yeah, I have to echo that sentiment. I would say Stargirl is better than Season 2 is still better than some of the other, like the current seasons of a lot of these shows. I would still say I prefer Arrow season 1 and season 2 and Flash season 1 and season 2 over Stargirl season 1. On an enjoyment level, on an investment level. Production wise, I think Stargirl season 1 just had a better production and writing team. Plus, again, like I've said before, sometimes less is better, and it was able to tell a much more cohesive story in its 13 episodes by keeping everything tight. Whereas the first couple of seasons of The Flash and Arrow had to run for 20 episodes, and it's just not good for long form storytelling anymore. Why is it so hard for CW shows to stick the landing with the third seasons? I honestly think with their long ass run times in these seasons, it's just hard for them to keep coming up with decent ideas. After you've made 40 episodes of a show, it's harder to come up with some ways to keep it fresh and engaging. I think that's what mostly happens. I didn't hate Dark Phoenix. I didn't hate it, but I 100% didn't love it. That was eh. Hey Omni, what's up? What's up, Jack? New Mutants was way better than people give it credit for. Cheesy, but a good film. The thing is, it wasn't intended to be cheesy. It was intended to be a horror film. I thought when I watched New Mutants, I 100% understood why they kept delaying it. I thought it was messy. There was stuff missing from the movie that didn't make any sense. Things were rushed. The editing was awful. The pacing was awful. And I didn't feel like the ending was very good. But that's just me. This is the way. What's up, Barry Allen? Not too much, man. Not too much. They better give us some resolution on Diggle arc this week or I won't watch Supergirl again. I mean, don't worry about it, man. Because, like, the show ends. This is the last season, so it's whatever at this point. It's not really like a viewer, whatchamacallit, it's going to be whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. They're not even putting promos out on their episodes anymore, which is pissing people off. Especially for some of the more socially minded episodes that they were really proud of. Which I thought were decent, but like I don't know about touting how proud they were of it. Maybe the next one. The next one I think is going to be fire. Looks like it's going to be interesting. Is the next episode the Diggle episode? Yeah, you're right. Because I think they said episode 12 is Diggle's episode. And it isn't the next episode where we actually see Kelly as Sentinel? Blind Spots is number 12. Yep, that's the David Ramsey episode. Well, that's the episode he's directing. He's directed episodes he wasn't in himself. So I'm wondering if he's actually going to be in that episode or if he's going to just direct it and then be in one of the other ones. I don't know. Hope so. But it would definitely fit with the theme of things. Oh, thank you, Sheena. Hi. What you drinking today?
Streamer.
And, big question, are you at the pool again? That's going to be the question every fucking weekend, because every weekend you seem like you're going to the pool. I'm going to wear the Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2 suit on my way to the theater to see No Way Home on December 18th. Hell yeah, man. Go for it. Oh, Donick, thank you for that super sticker, my guy. You're number one. No. You is. Got that Canadian money. Is that in loonies or toonies? I accept both. Technically, you need 2 toonies and a loony to equal $5. Or just give me a 5, but because you do have those. God, I miss Canada, man. I don't know about what it is about it. Maybe I'm just burned out on America after everything that's been going on the last couple years. Let's see. Mask and everything. Go for it, dude. Hell yeah. Dress up for the film, man. I only go as far as the only time I dressed up to go to a movie was for Revenge of the Sith. I had like this really janky Anakin cosplay that I did. It was just made out of random crap I could find. Like my Jedi tunic belt was literally just a belt going around my shirt. Doug Walker actually did demo reel because he wanted to act and play the writer and talk to the nostalgia critic's character. That wasn't the reason he did demo reel. He was tired of playing the nostalgia critic, but those weren't doing well, so it became a meditative roundabout narrative. I don't believe that was always the plan. I think he really wanted to get away from that character and get more into directing and making his own films, doing something a little more experimental, but the fan base didn't agree. So I think that was their way of backtracking on it. I think James Mangold will be the best thing to happen to Indy since The Last Crusade. Kyle, dude, if I could like your comment, yes. Because I mean, it's got James Mangold, it's got Harrison coming back. It can't be worse than the fourth one, right? I don't know, man. We'll see. But yeah, you're technically not wrong, unless by some miracle they mess this one up bad. But I don't see James Mangold really mangling this one. Bradley Cooper's new movie. He looks like a young Indiana Jones. I haven't seen it on there, though. If I was the showrunner, if I was the Batwoman showrunner, what would I do, Omni? Which character would you kill off? I don't know that I would kill off any of the characters, but I can damn sure tell you I would have just recasted Kate. Yeah. And we would not have any of the problems that we have with the show at the moment. And I love Ryan. I do. But like she doesn't feel like she naturally fits in with all the other storylines, and it just doesn't make sense to keep the other Kane family members around when we're not really with the Kane family, and I don't like the way they wrote Kate off either. I don't know. I just feel like there was a better way to go about all of what they did in season 2. But yeah, my biggest decision would just to have been not to get rid of Kate Kane. I'm so afraid that Titans season 3 is going to have a terrible ending like the other seasons. I love season 3 so far. I wouldn't say I love it, but I'm really enjoying it. There's still a lot of things that I can like nitpick and criticize, and some things that I'm just like, I still don't like what they're doing with some of this stuff, but I'm having fun with it. So funny, in your last stream, I mentioned Blackfire unlocking her powers through Connor's scientific prowess. Now it seems like it's his bed-breaking prowess. I remember you mentioning that. And yeah, and I'm wondering if that's what she's doing, because she got that sonic scream thing, and she claimed to be powerless. Like, she doesn't have the fire, she doesn't have powers per se on her own. So that was why she was kind of shunned by her people, because she wasn't born with them, even though she was a royal. So I'm wondering what exactly is happening there. I think she might just be using everybody in the end, so we'll see. Even though I like the relationship she's building with Connor, and hoping it's not all a ruse. I feel bad for little Connor. Let's see. Brought him back to do the Emerald finale and bring back the Star Lifetime with the Green on his channel. Not looking forward to the Flash premiere. None of the guests besides Black Lightning and Adam interest me. Mia Queen is one of the least favorite Arrowverse characters. She started off in a really rocky place for me, for sure, but I ended up liking her in the end. What I didn't like about Mia was just the setting she lived in. I didn't like the future Star City at all. I just didn't have any investment in whatever drama was happening there. But I liked Mia as a character. I liked William as a character, but I wasn't invested with the villains they were fighting in the future. Not at all. Like the Deathstrokes or whatever. Do not care at all about that, or what happened with JJ or any of that stuff. So if they had a better setting for her, like, I liked her dynamic with Oliver. And pretty much her role in season 8, but everything else outside of that, yeah, she was very grating, so I get that. I'm excited to see her come back just to kind of get a little bit of closure on that failed pilot setup. And all I hope from her appearance is that we find out what happened to William, and they just close that cliffhanger up. That's all I want out of it. But I'm excited to see Thawne again. I'm excited to see Damien Dark come back. I'm excited for to see Ray and Ryan come in, because I think there's going to be a passing of the mantle finally, of the Atom over onto Ryan, and maybe we'll see more of Ryan going forward. But yeah, I think Black Lightning is the one I was really hoping to see in the crossover, personally, because I really like the idea of Barry and Jefferson teaming up a lot. Angry Joe finally reviewed the finale of Superman and Lois. He gave it a 6 out of 10, but said the cliffhanger was the most horrible cliffhanger he has ever seen. He wanted a new villain tease at the end. Angry Joe, I don't know what he wants, man. Like, I know what he wants, and it's dumb. It's very childish what he wants out of the show. I don't agree with him, about most of his opinions or feelings on Superman and Lois, so it's whatever. I haven't watched his video on the finale, but when he stopped posting like the check-in videos on how the episodes were going, I was just like, after watching what he had been saying about a few of them, I was like, yeah, he's not gonna like this show, because they're being so, like, very petty about all of this, because they're like, the CW stuff in it. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about with this CW shit, like the teen drama or the family drama and all that stuff, because it's not even remotely comparable to anything they've done on the channel before, man. It's all good to me, and none of it's forced. It all seems natural, and I'm sorry that you want cartoon characters and not real people. So, and yeah, I mean, the finale was meh. I liked the finale, but it wasn't. I feel like there were some better episodes prior to the finale. It was like, I think the resolution was a little quick, but like, I wouldn't say it's like a 6 out of 10, but it's whatever. It's their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. I just think they are hypocrites in a lot of ways about what they're wanting and looking for out of that show. But anyway, hope we see the Merovingian. He's on the cast list, so I'm sure we will. Yep, I've seen the wall review as well. What's up, Larson? What 3 comic characters would I? What are 3 comic characters I would want a live action for? Let's do some that haven't got done in live action. So let's say, I would say Static Shock, but we're getting one coming, so I won't say Static Shock. So, I want to, well, shit, no, because that's happening currently. Man, hold on. I can do this. Oh. Damn. Most of the ones I want have either been done. Okay, let's modify this a little bit. How about ones I would like to be redone? How about that? I'll include some of those. In that case, I would say Spawn, Ghost Rider, and oh man, this is tough. Because the most of the ones I care about have been done. Damn. One more. I need one more. Miles Morales. Miles Morales. Anyway. Sorry that took so long. I don't think they will release a Flash trailer at Fandom. The only trailer that they announced as the press release was the Batman. I expect to see a sizzle reel like what we saw for Suicide Squad. Possibly. More than likely. I think we'll see something. I mean, all we got last time was concept art. So we got to see something. Maybe not a full-on trailer, but maybe we'll get a little bit of something, like a taste. We have 7 more episodes of Stargirl Season 2 to go. People shouldn't judge this quickly. I agree with that. I think it's... The thing is, it's a natural progression after Season 1, so naturally, things are going to be a little bit slower going into this as we ramp up things again. I'm so obsessed with the Funko Pops. I just spent $20 for a 2019 Marvel Man-Thing exclusive Funko Pop, as well as Carnage. As Carnage, the Venom 2 version, and Monica Rambeau. Nice, man. Go for it, man. I think the most I've spent on a pop was like $50 because it was a rare one. Actually made a Nostalgia Critic minifigure. Cool, man. CW needs to go to 12 episode seasons so they can be more focused storylines, or more money for special effects. They do. I've been saying that for a long time. They need to cut their seasons in half. I agree with that. East Blue Drew. I'm a fan of Supergirl, but I think this season has been its absolute worst. I really don't care for how they chose to end the series with this villain. I loved how they did the final season of Arrow. Yeah, I think they should have done like a condensed final season like Arrow did. Because even Black Lightning's final season felt really weird and dragged out at times, even though I still kind of like the season. But honestly, I think season 5 is the most garbage season in the entire Arrowverse, and maybe of TV that I've seen. I'm enjoying season 5, but it doesn't really feel like enjoying season 6, but I don't know that I like where it's like how unfocused it kind of feels. I liked each episode on an individual basis. I liked the prom the prom 2-parter, and the Phantom Zone stuff was all right. But I don't know. I like what they're doing with the characters, so I don't know. I definitely like the season way more than the last season, though. The relationship between Connor and Blackfire is great. Every time they interact with each other is adorable. I agree. It's really endearing. And this is just a very different Blackfire that we're seeing right now. I don't know if it's like a ruse or anything just yet, but we'll find out. It's very vastly different from the Blackfire I'm familiar with, so who knows? I'm just expecting her to betray everybody in the end. The scene I'm hoping for in Multiverse of Madness is Wanda coming across Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter. What if Sony plays along after No Way Home? I hope so, man. I hope there's some recognition of that. Yo, man, I've been lazy this past month. I haven't bothered editing. I really hope No Time to Die and Venom 2 can come out so that you can get back to yourself. Well, you only got like 2 weeks before Venom 2 comes out, right? No Time to Die, they're not going to push it back again, so it's going to come out in November. They can't afford to push it back any farther, so it's going to come out for better or for worse, so don't worry about that one. But I'm excited for both. I finally bought Venom, so I'm going to be watching it tonight for the first time, so I still haven't seen the first film, so I'll be watching it tonight. If the DCEU was working well, I would love Justice League versus the Crime Syndicate in the cast of the Watchmen cast as a Crime Syndicate. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I'd be down for that. The acronym for Multiverse of Madness is MUM. Just pointing that out because Marvel likes to play around with things. Kind of like the way they did with No Way Home, dated circle in the calendar and WandaVision. True. Anytime I see Mom, though, it makes me think of Master of Masters, and it makes me think of Kingdom Hearts. Did I watch the Nostalgic Moulin Rouge review? I did. Like I said, I've watched most of, if not all of his reviews. So there's only a handful that I haven't. I'm a musical guy, so like I love that episode too. With Brentalfloss in it as well. I think that was the one Brentalfloss was in. Superman and Lois is the best show on the CW. Yeah, 100%. Just watched A Wrinkle in Time and actually liked it. I hope we see an Ava DuVernay New Gods one day. I don't think we will. I do not think we will. But she is making that Naomi show that's coming to the CW, so we'll see that from her. Wasn't Jamie Foxx supposed to be Spawn? I don't know. I don't remember who was cast as the new Spawn. But that movie seems to be still stuck in development hell. Because I think they just finally found a director. But I still don't think they finished the script yet. So I don't know. I would just love to see a live action Silk. I think we're getting one. I think they announced that we're getting one. I want Terry McGinnis live action. I'll be honest, and I've said this before, I'm not a fan of Batman Beyond. So I know plenty of people, it's an unpopular opinion. I'd be more than happy to try him in live action and see how that goes, but I just don't like that setting. I don't like that Batman, and I never really liked Terry all that much. So that's just me. So I'm excited to see what you guys think, though. I was watching this Nickelodeon show called Henry Danger, and then it got a sequel to its show called The Danger Force, which I think the cast of Henry Danger should appear in the Marvel films. I mean, is it a Marvel show? I mean, it'd only be in the Marvel films if it's a Marvel show. Definitely want a Batman Beyond with Keaton. There's Philly Vanes chiming in with his thoughts on it for sure. See, I mean, I feel like a lot of people would rather have that. But I think we're going to get like a Batgirl being mentored by a Batman rather than anything else. But we'll see. I wish we saw Felicity Jones as Black Cat. I love Felicity Jones. Who knows? Maybe she will show up in No Way Home. There's a Black Cat film coming out from Sony, assuming they stay on their plans. So just wonder who's going to play Black Cat. I really like Black Cat. I like Black Cat a lot. Felicity Jones is really... I really like the character of Black Cat a lot. Also really like her outfit. Did the Shade sacrifice himself? I don't think intentionally, but I think he's still alive. I don't think he's dead. I think maybe he's gone to the same plane where McNider is. Maybe to recuperate? By the way, how about Man-Thing redone? Because he was teased in Thor Ragnarok and maybe a solo horror film back in 2005. 2005. I don't even know who Man-Thing is, actually. It looks like the internet hates Titans again. All the optimism after episode 3 is gone. Thoughts? Really? I don't know. I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about Titans so much. But I haven't seen a lot of negativity about it either. What are people saying? Or what have you seen, Barry? Felicity Jones was also in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yes, she was. She was. She was at Oscorp, right? I love seeing more of Kara in this season of Supergirl. I felt like she was more of a supporting character in the last couple of seasons. Yeah, kind of like what they're doing with Barry Allen right now, right? I agree with the worry of Titans last episode. Next week is a standalone Raven Donna episode, which means we have 4 episodes to resolve Red Hood, the Scarecrow, and maybe a Blackfire plot. Not much time. I feel like we're going to stay focused on Scarecrow. Like, we might have this, like, here's what Donna and Raven's been doing. But I feel like everything's going to stay focused on Red Hood and Scarecrow throughout the remainder of the season. If they randomly twist this into a Blackfire thing in the final acts, that would be dumb. Maybe they will set up... I think maybe they might set up Blackfire for season 3. Or they will just keep Blackfire as part of the team? I don't know. But yeah, I agree. I do have my concerns, especially since Red Hood is pretty much done. Like, he was only Red Hood for a couple of weeks, and we only got to see him as Red Hood like 3 or 4 times total. I'm curious what the screen time total was actually for. Like, how much screen time was actually dedicated for Red Hood so far, because it doesn't seem like a lot. And now he's already kind of like trying to get forgiveness for what he did. So it's almost like he's already trying to get away from that. So, like, I don't know. The whole Red Hood thing of it just seemed like a vehicle to get people interested in the show again. And honestly, the Red Hood stuff was some of the weaker stuff for me. In general in this season, but I feel like Jason Todd has not been handled by the show very well in general. I'm really excited to see what they do with Tim, though, because I like how he forced himself into the story this time. I liked it. It's very Tim Drake, so I'm curious what's going to happen after this with where they'll go with the character, for sure. You got Venom. Don't listen too much of the hate around the movie. It gets criticized some bit, but I'll watch it for the entertainment. But unlike Venom 1, which is about 2 hours, Venom is about 1 hour and 30. Yeah, it's all comes down to the story they're telling. So I know people are like, it's going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's going to suck. And it's like, that doesn't mean shit. There are fantastic 1 hour, 30-minute films. People are just spoiled to this point that they think more is better. So until the film is out, I'm not going to say anything about that. Because I'm hearing quite the opposite about the pacing of the film for Venom 2, at least. But, yeah, I didn't expect to go into Venom expecting, like, a masterpiece. I just want to have fun with it, so I'm going to check it out, and that's all I want. If I enjoy it, that's all I care about. I'm not looking for expert craftsmanship most of the time when I'm going to watch a comic book property. I have Jack Black Goosebumps on DVD, and I love the first film. Good on you. I thought it was fun seeing all the Easter eggs and all the villains they brought back from the Goosebumps books, but as far as the story goes, I wasn't all that on board for it. But I like Jack Black, so it's whatever. Jack Black should also appear in the Marvel films and Disney films. Yeah, I'd love to see Jack Black in anything, really. Since it's Batman Day, who's my favorite Batman? Ben Affleck. If we're talking live action, if we're talking overall in anything, Kevin freaking Conroy, my guy. Kevin Conroy is my Batman forever. Will Bruce Wayne officially return in Batwoman Season 3? Doubt it. Kate left search for him. What are your thoughts on that? I don't think it'll be Season 3. I think Kate's just going to go to this mystery island wherever Batman is, and we'll stay there until they decide to end the show. I don't think Batman or Kate Kane will come back until the show's final season, because they've committed to a path, and anything that they do to bring any of those characters back undermines that path. So we'll see. We'll see. I could just be pessimistic about it all. But the fact that they're actually having Poison Ivy in Season 3, unfortunately, intrigues me enough to want to continue watching it. But I don't know. I still don't know if I'm going to react to it. So hold out for that one. Remember the Justice League Unlimited episode where the female leaguers were in a Battle Royale UFC match with Wonder Woman? That could be a good movie idea with different heroes and missing, and Wonder Woman finds the secret fight club. I don't remember that episode, but then again, I haven't watched that show in a long time. What is happening to Nightwing? No idea. I think it's either something, whatever Blackfire's doing to Starfire is now affecting Dick now that after that car crash, because it seemed to be happening after the car crash. Or it's Raven sending visions again, kind of similar like what she did with Dawn and Hank. But I don't know. It could just all be in his brain. Or maybe he already got exposed in some way to maybe the fear toxin, maybe a small dose. But I don't know. Poor Tim. Crane's plan is in motion. Now people are going to turn against the Titans. I love how the Titans logo was red in the end. I hope that's not where they go with it. I hope that's not where they try to blame what happened to Gotham on the Titans. I hope that's not the case. Recently watched Godzilla vs. Kong again. I really think when the humans got to Middle Earth, there was a scene with a huge reptile and a frog, and I really think that is Manila and Godzilla's son. I don't remember that, but I also didn't see anything else that looked like it might be a Godzilla species. So, I'd have to be a little skeptical about that, but I haven't watched it since it came out. Since the week it came out, because I saw it in theaters and I watched it again a few times on HBO Max. But I haven't watched it since then. What's up, Nixie? Welcome back. What's up, Cheesy Man? Big fan. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I do like Jason Todd was under the influence when he killed innocents. Red Hood will be a Titan now. Maybe. Again, he's still choosing to shoot up. So, like, there's, like, this weird gray area where this is still kind of Jason's fault. Even if the acts he performed while under the influence are not, he still chose the path. Because even before, he already betrayed everybody he loved. Or seemed to love or care about in some fashion. Just to... He sold them all out to Scarecrow weeks before he even was able to synthesize or take a dose of that stuff. So, I mean, you could come back from that, but it is what it is. I agree Jason Todd was handled poorly. I think so, yeah. I think there was I don't know. It's just rushed. Man-Thing is the exact same story as Swamp-Thing. Both were human. They both gained their powers in the swamp. The only difference is Man-Thing doesn't really talk, and his design is way different. Okay. Oh, I gotcha. Cool. Do you think Titans will get canceled? Nah. Last thing I saw is that HBO is pretty happy with the numbers for Titan Season 3. I think it's very likely we'll get a Titan Season 4. I don't know if one's been announced or anything yet, but I definitely do think we'll get one. There are more live-action Bruce Waynes right now than there are fish in the sea. Come on, Kyle. It's a little hyperbole. But, yeah, there are quite a lot of live-action Batmans, especially if you compare them to any other live-action or comic book counterpart. Superman, I think, would be the next closest, but Batman's definitely got way more. What's up, Hun? Popping into the chat with your little camp box. No, Titans won't get canceled. Great for us. Randall saying is very happy. Yeah. I didn't hear that from her, but I've seen that from a couple of different news sources. Did I watch the Michael Bay Transformers films? I have seen all of them. I haven't seen Bumblebee yet, which I know is kind of like a soft reboot of the Transformers films. I have not watched that one yet. As watching the episode of The Walking Dead, it really makes me see how off the chain Daryl really is, because I've invested in other characters. Because I've been invested in the other characters. Can you elaborate that on John? Like, what do you mean off the chain for Daryl? I'm curious what you meant by what do you mean? I was so disappointed that Ryan Reynolds didn't get to do Green Lantern and Snyder Cut. That would have been icing on the cake. I know, man. I would have loved that. I think that movie gets a little more hate than it deserves. I mean, it's not a great film. It suffers from a lot of the same kind of problems of other comic book films around that time. And I do think that the choice to do CGI, while makes sense with the character, did look a little funny. I didn't have a problem with a lot of the things that happened in it. Maybe he got infected when he found out that vial in Jason's place. Yeah, but it would have taken a long time for those effects to kick in if that was when he got infected. Because we've seen that the effects don't last. Jason's had to keep shooting up multiple times because it wears off. So I feel like even if he got a little bit of it, it would have happened a long time ago and not be happening now. I do remember Pop Quiz. That was kind of fun. Forgot Jason Todd sold everyone out before dosing up. Good point. Exactly. Told Scarecrow all their identities, all their secrets, told him about Oracle, told him about everything. Again, like I said in like my reactions and stuff, this was even before Jason was in on the plan. Jason wasn't in on Scarecrow's plan until after everything that had happened, after he killed Hank, after he attacked Dick at the cabin. He still didn't know what Scarecrow actually wanted, and he was just rolling with it. So, like, it just seems like I don't know, it's just like, his motivations were misplaced. But by that point, though, yes, he was under the influence. and I think whatever Crane put in the modified version of the serum allowed him to be open to suggestions, so that whatever Crane said, he would just kind of do. But we'll see. Where was I? Pacific Rim was good, so I don't know what that sequel was. I haven't seen either of the Pacific Rim films, so I personally can't say. But I like to play Lego DC Supervillains on our channel and have a beanie in the game. Probably not. I've played it one of those at one point, but I just can't focus on those games. I just can't find a way to get invested in a lot of them. Do you think they cut off Momoa? They will cut Momoa's hand off in the Aquaman sequel? I kind of hope not. I feel like that would just make filming a little more impractical. They could do it, rule of cool and all. It fits and lines up with his version of the character, but I kind of would like them just to stay away from that personally. What's up, Avik? Doing all right. How about you? Did I watch the Henry Danger? I don't even know. I've never heard of Henry Danger personally, so no, I have not seen it. Titans finale is named Purple Rain. Purple being Blackfire's collar, and the actress Damaris Lewis was one of Prince's dancers. Seems like a nod to her. Hope they don't rush her plot in the last episode. Ugh. Maybe the last episode's like a cliffhanger. Like this was her long con to get powers. Maybe she... Ooh... What if she was like using Connor as like a conduit, and when they were banging and Starfire was watching, maybe she was draining... Somehow she was siphoning the fire from Starfire. And this is just a long con to get close to her sister so that she can try to siphon the powers she's so long since wanted. Maybe the final episode is going to be a cliffhanger where she finally has them, and the cliffhanger is going to be her leaving everything to shit. If that works, that'd be fine. As long as she doesn't end up being the villain, they have to stop her in the last episode. If that's the setup for season 3, that might work a little bit better, as long as the main focus on season 2 is just Red Hood and Scarecrow, and then they leave that setup for next time. I hope that's the case. And not them trying to rush it in the later. I've nearly got the full collection of the 60s cartoon Spider-Man show. Now I'm getting the full Spectacular Spider-Man show. Well, what about the 90s one? That's mine. That's my Spider-Man. Oh, hey, Luis. Given the comments lately on Marvel movies, do you feel any Marvel fatigue? Honestly, I felt it after Endgame because I was definitely in a lull. And I've said this a lot, man. After Endgame, I felt it really difficult to be excited about anything they announced. I was like, oh, that's cool. But you just did Endgame, man. You just did your conclusion to this huge thing. How are you following that up? Like, how are you building the hype back up for what's next? And like, I was just skeptical. I was going to be watching everything they announced, but like, I was like,
streamer.
I had no idea what to expect. Avi, oh, thank you for that super chat, man. How are you? Love your collection in the back. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well, man. Well, thank you. Yeah, I need more. I honestly, I need more space. I've gotten to a point where I've just got stuff on the floor because I don't have enough shelf space. So I need to work on that. I just need to stop buying shit. So I have bad control over my impulses when I'm out sometimes. But yeah, after Endgame, I definitely felt like, because I always described it as this, like, and I don't know if this is like everybody, but like, there's that thing, after you're in the moment and stuff and things, things, you kind of just you're burned out. You're not ready rolling to get back in there most of the time. You just need to chill. You need to recharge. That's what I felt like Endgame was. It was this huge climax, and then I was like, that was awesome. So then I was just like, all right. So now they got to really get back into the foreplay, to get me interested. And that's surprisingly where we are, because WandaVision blew me away. All the stuff they've been doing on Disney Plus has really excited me. Not Falcon and the Winter so much. It was a really good show, don't get me wrong, but like what it set up didn't really thrill me. It was well done, well executed. I liked it for the characters, but it didn't like get the blood pumping like Loki or WandaVision or What If. Everything we've seen and heard about Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like, I think this prospect of the multiverse and how things can really kind of step up from what we thought was this crazy conclusion in Endgame, that got me rehyped. So I'm kind of back to where I was. Not quite that level, but I'm back up there, man. I'm ready to see what they got, what they're putting out, if you will, to entertain it. Early UK viewers said that Venom: Let There Be Carnage is a phenomenal film, with the acting, comedy, and horror is on point, and that the post-credit scene is quite massive. I've heard that there is something insane about the post-credit scene, and I've been doing my best to avoid it. Avoid hearing anything about it, because it's got this weird staggered release, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it so far. Okay, John clarifying on his Daryl comment earlier. How he's a survivor, how he can hold on is one-on-one, and he's strong qualities in many ways. Yeah, man, he's like the lonerest loner of any loner in the team. Like him and Carol, I think, can survive on their own quite easily. In ways that the other people in the group can't. And I think that's one of the reasons he's always kind of been a little bit of an outsider, even from the beginning, even from season 1. But he's still an interesting character to follow for sure. And even to this point, like he's so elusive in his mannerisms and the way he talks and the air that he presents that he's fooled these Reapers, man. So like, it's really interesting to see how he just kind of can move like in between all these different groups while keeping his own motives kind of like contained. You think we'll see Agent Smith in the Matrix? He kind of has to be in it, I feel. I don't think so. I think he's a product of the previous Matrix. I think we might see some remnants or allusions to Agent Smith, maybe a new Agent Smith, since this is a new Matrix and he was created by the Matrix. I think that old man reflection when Neo is looking in the mirror and for a second he doesn't see himself. I think he sees the body he's inhabiting, which is his old body. We see Neo, but the world sees a remnant of the previous Matrix. The older Agent Smith body is actually what he's inhabiting when Agent Smith transformed him into another Smith. So I think his in-world avatar is a Smith, just with a new skin on it or something like that. But we know at least, or at least unless they're keeping it really secretive, and Hugo Weaving's comments about the Matrix films aside are just scapegoats. I don't expect we're going to see him in the movie at all, himself. I was streaming the old Marvel movies. Some movies work better while some don't. Weird combination. Fair enough. I really love the Robin costumes in Titans. Whenever we see Dick wearing it, it's so cool. I agree. I think that regardless of what I thought of the story, the pacing, or whatever they were doing with the characters in season 1 and season 2, one of the things that I always loved about the show, the only praise that I could really give it for a long time, was I think they cast the characters well, and their costuming team was knocking it out of the park. They have some of the best costumes I've seen. I got hooked on watching Nickelodeon's Henry Danger back in the day, watching it with my cousin's kid. Kept watching it even after they stopped, along with Danger Force. Mindless humor. I don't know what that is. Henry Danger. I mean, I haven't watched Nickelodeon itself in a really, really long time. Oh yeah, I've never even seen this in passing. Huh. Yeah, that's ringing no bells for me. When was this airing? 2014 to 2018? Yeah, I completely under my radar. I wish Titans Gar was already close to how the Teen Titans Gar is with his powers. I do too. I think they're trying to get there. I understand for budgetary reasons why he only has one transformation. But I really hope, and they're building up to it, that they expand on his powers a little bit more. At this point, we should have already saw Black Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, Thor Love and Thunder, in that order. Yep, all before the delays. That was the original plan. Have I heard that Superman and Lois could be going to HBO Max, or going back to HBO? Well, it's not going back anywhere. It's staying on the CW. That's not happening. I mean, it's on HBO Max right now if you want to watch it, but it's not an HBO Max show. As I've seen, no indication it's actually going to be leaving the CW. CW's paying for the show, so they're the producers of the show. So unless HBO buys it from the CW or changes the deals, it is what it is. Don't worry, I'll get the 90s show and the Unlimited show. Awesome, man. Good. Hal Sparks appeared in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. He also played Donald Davenport in the TV show Lab Rats. Don't know that one. Made a Lego of Donald Davenport. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm the only one of the only ones who grew up with the Amazing Spider-Man and actually liked them. I liked the first one. I didn't like what they did to the Lizard. The Lizard was my favorite Spider-Man villain, and I feel like I just don't like that design. I don't like that Lizard design. I don't like the Lizard design that's a little too human. Like, I really love the lizardy designs, like the one that really commit to looking like a lizard. And my favorite design for the Lizard is still the 90s animated cartoon design of the character. But I still really like that film. I did not like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I liked it as a rom-com because the only parts of that movie that I really enjoyed was Spider-Man being quippy, the new suit, and the relationship stuff between Peter and Gwen. I didn't like Jamie Foxx's Electro. I did not like what's his name? Dane. Fuck. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Dane DeHaan. I got it before he came up. Dane DeHaan's character. And I think it's just because their characterization was really rushed. I like Dane DeHaan, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of things off with that. I sub so I can speak. How's your day? Well, you comment on my videos all the time. You're not subbed? White Loth Cat. How dare? How dare? But welcome, man. I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Hopefully they really signify what set off the multiverse, because as of now, it's still vague, especially with No Way Home and its plot. I agree with that. I really want to get into the gist of things like that. Do you think movies with good plots but bad VFX should get a remake so it becomes a great film? Sure, like a remaster or rebuff. I think that would be cool. I'd prefer that than like getting them rebooted or whatever. And even if a film has really good acting and a really great plot, like even if it has some bad VFX, I'm not going to hold that really against the films usually, because it's usually comes down to budget or time or technology, depending on when it was made. I actually made a Lego Nash Wells from the Arrowverse. Awesome. Just found out the other day that apparently there's an editor's cut of Spider-Man 3. Quite interested in watching it to see if there's anything different. Really? The editor's cut of Spider-Man 3 has a different score and a Sandman scene with his daughter before he teams with Venom. I've seen the daughter scene, but I I don't know if I've seen that version. All I remember is I've seen that movie 3 times in theaters, and I've seen it a lot since because I bought it. So yeah, I don't know. Johnny Depp also came back to do the voice of Jack Sparrow in Kingdom Hearts 3 and A Pirate's Life on the video game. He wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 3. That was what's his name? James Arnold Taylor. Yeah. Jack Sparrow. James Arnold Taylor on the English version. Because James Arnold Taylor is Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice actor, and he voices Jack Sparrow and pretty much anything that's not the films. What's A Pirate's Life? And in A Pirate's Life, it's Jared Butler who plays him in that game. Damaris seems loved by cast and crew of Titans. Lots of footage of her behind the scenes cheering everybody up. Doing filming in Canada throughout COVID and lockdown. Might have an extended role in season 4. I think she's going to be the... I think she'll be the villain in season 4, honestly, depending on the pacing of these things. Did I watch all the Pirates films? Yes, I have. I really like the original trilogy, though. I like the 2 that came after, but the original trilogy I just thought was fantastic. If we got an... which one is the right answer? What are you talking about, hon? I wonder if we got a Spider-Man 4, how different things would have been. We probably wouldn't have gotten Andrew, and it would have been hard for Sony to make a deal with Marvel, given Tobey's success. Probably. You're probably right. It probably would have given them... Well, I don't know. After the critical reception of Spider-Man 3 by most people, I'm not sure how that would go. It's a good question. I can't believe how good Marvel is with the hype, because 20 films into the MCU, they fight Thanos, lost, and 3 films later, they are fighting Thanos again with most of the heroes in the same MCU. In the MCU, you going to buy storage SSD extension for my PS5? I might eventually, but right now, I'm fine on space because I don't have a lot of games on it that I'm playing actively. And if something comes out, I think I'm more than fine just uninstalling a game and putting it back on whenever it's finally time to be in the mood to play it. But I don't know. I might eventually. I might be expanding it at some point, because it can be kind of tedious to have to uninstall and reinstall your games all the time if you get in a different mood. Then 5 films and 5 TV shows later, they have a multiverse crisis, and then 1 film and 1 show later, they say Doctor Strange Final Fight will be more than Endgame. Like, the fuck if? You're right, man. Like, they really are pulling out all the stops with this shit, dude. I'm sorry. It's all good, man. I'm glad you're doing well, though, Lothcat. And those Lothcats, they get around. They are not just on Lothal. Those things are everywhere. Remember when Chris Cooper was Norman Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and killed off within 3 minutes of his introduction? I do remember that. I wonder if there is more or less an emo Peter in the cut. I don't know. You know, as cringy as that scene is, I still enjoy it for what it is, because those films were still very tongue-in-cheek. They were still very campy in a way, because that's just kind of Sam Raimi's style. It did kind of push the limits a little bit, but yeah, I still find those moments kind of funny and entertaining. So I'd be down for more emo Peter. Any idea if Wonder Woman 3 will be modern times? No idea yet. I don't even think there's a script for Wonder Woman 3 yet. So, no idea. There isn't. Editor's Cut of Spider-Man 3 is basically the same movie. In Kingdom Hearts 3, they actually put you in Pirates of the Caribbean 3 at World's End. The players play, but not Deadbin, Tell No Tales. And that's because Tetsuya Nomura just didn't like the second movie. And yeah, man, I'm obsessed with Kingdom Hearts, so I know all about that. That's my favorite level in Kingdom Hearts 3 is the Pirates World. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite video game franchise, just to let you know, if you're fairly new. What if Emo Peter is in No Way Home? Please! As a variant. A version of Toby's Peter that never gave up the black suit. Bully Maguire versus Galactus. Dude, Bully Maguire would make Galactus cry. Bully Maguire could beat anybody. I can't find a PS5 in Ireland. Keep saving for one and ended up spending it on other stuff. I'm on 6 waiting lists. Yeah, it's still a pain in the ass. And I'm not sure if it's available the way I did it outside of the US. I don't remember. Because I got it direct. I got mine by luck, mind you. From... Oh, goodbye, Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you for the comments and hanging out. Hope you have a great day. But the way I did it, I've mentioned this before, I went directly through PlayStation Store, like if on their website. Every now and then they will have an online restock there. The catch is you have to have an active PlayStation Plus subscription, and you can only get one per address. So like, but that's the most reliable way to get one from everything I've heard, and I got one on the first try. So I don't know what the general stakes were, because I think I lucked out, but that's how I got one. I got one directly from PlayStation, but I'm not sure if that's a US only offer or not. But yeah, man, they are still, unless you want to save up and pay the overpriced scalper's fee from eBay, it's damn near impossible to grab one legitimately without just being lucky. You think Doctor Strange 2 will be so much less of a horror film because Scott Derrickson left? I do. Well, they're still talking about it being fairly scary. And Sam Raimi's done a lot of horror. Campy horror, mind you, but still, he likes playing in the horror realm. So I think it's a good chance of that. Maybe there will be a Scott Derrickson cut. Well, he left before filming started, so there's not going to be a cut of his film. There's not going to be a version of his film because he never shot anything. So it's not like Sam Raimi came in before production got started. So I don't think that's going to be... we're not going to have like a Snyder Cut version of... or outcry for Multiverse of Madness. At least I don't think so. Because it's kind of like Edgar Wright and Ant-Man. Like, he left before the movie really got started. I would have been interested in seeing what Edgar Wright did with an MCU film. That'd be crazy. I like me some Edgar Wright, man. Scott Pilgrim, one of my favorite films. Shaun of the Dead, great. Hot Fuzz, awesome. I can't wait to see, was it Last Night in Soho or Late Night in Soho, whatever that film is, with Anya Taylor-Joy in there and the girl from Old and the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. Hold on, where is it? Keep it on my desk generally because I always fiddle with it. Yeah, here it is. Where you at? Wrong button. Hiya. Let me be a dork for a second. I'm sorry. Let's see. I saw your videos on PS5 games coming out and your rant on remastered on Uncharted. I don't know if I would replay it over after playing it on the PS4. Well, I'm not going to be playing that. No, I don't remember what I don't remember what all I said about the Uncharted remasters. But I really can't wait to play the PC ports. I can't wait to play those Uncharted games on PC. Much more than I would be playing it on PS5, because with mods, 4K, and like over 60 frames and all that junk, and higher, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? All the stuff, all the PC junk. Can't wait to play it on PC. But I'd play it again. I'd give it one solid playthrough. I wouldn't like go through it on crack and like 100% the game again. Shang-Chi is doing well at the box office with Venom, Eternals, and No Way Home releasing in a few months. Is a great time to be alive. I don't know, man. I there's probably been some greater times to be alive. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to enjoy, but there's still a lot of dumb shit happening and unfortunate shit happening at the moment that I don't know about. And it's going okay for the time period. And definitely better than most films have been doing. And I do think there's a high chance with like Venom, with something that has like a beloved character. Not a lot of people know Shang-Chi. Doesn't have a lot of people are familiar with. So I feel like Venom's got a high chance of doing something crazy. And I think we'll see some crazy numbers with Spider-Man No Way Home and all that junk when that comes out. Crazy numbers by pandemic standards. I don't think we're going to be seeing any. We're not going to be seeing any billion-dollar movies this year at all. They're going to make Jurassic World 3 Dominion. Yeah, man. Can't wait for Dominion. Can't wait to see all the original cast come back for that movie. I haven't been a huge... I mean, like, I enjoy the Jurassic World films, but I still feel like they are better than Jurassic Park 3, but inferior to the first two Jurassic Park films in general. They feel very Marvel-y to me in some weird way, even though they're Universal. And there's also talks that the Jurassic Park franchise might cross over with the Fast and Furious franchise at some point. Bully Maguire versus the Batman and Kylo Ren. Bully Maguire, man. The meme will always win. Need to buy a PS5 for the KOTOR remake. I'm glad that, yes, I have a PS5, but it's also coming out on PC. So I will be playing KOTOR on PC for me. But yeah. I can't wait to play it on PC for sure. There's a thing. It's only console exclusive to the PS5. It's still day one releases on PC. So anybody with a gaming PC or a decent PC will be able to at least play KOTOR if they can't get their hands on a PS5. But yeah, if you've only got an Xbox though, it's gonna be a rough wait, Steven. I like Henry Cavill, but after watching Superman Lois, I really think playing... Whoops, I fucked up. I really think playing Superman is the hardest role to get right. I can't see Cavill ever acting like that. But I know he's good enough to. It's just, I think Henry could do it. If you watched Enola Holmes, there's a little bit of what could be a decent Clark Kent in there. Or not decent, I'm sorry, that's the wrong word to say. Because I like his Clark Kent and I like his Superman. The thing is, it's not a traditional Superman. He's not anything like a traditional Superman. And I think that comes down to the direction and the flavor of the script, you know? That's just not Zack Snyder's vision. It's possible, but I still don't think he could quite nail that dorkiness that comes from what like Tyler Hoechlin's been able to bring out of that role. You know, like the really Clark Kent kind of vibe. So like, as a different Superman, as a variant Superman, I think he's doing a great job. And I really do want to see more Henry Cavill. I think he got the short end of the stick with DC and Warner Brothers. Elizabeth Olsen is nominated for her first Emmy this weekend for WandaVision. Also, Anya Taylor-Joy is nominated for her first Emmy this weekend too. My money is on Kate Winslet winning. Are they all in the same category? Imagine if they were making a pruning stick like in Loki and you twist it and it lights up at the top. Ooh, I would get one if they made like a prop. I'd buy it. Thanks. Not sure if it's in Ireland, but my niece and nephew have PlayStation Plus accounts, so I'll play the uncle card and have them snoop for me. Yeah, look into that. I can't remember if they call it. There's also a couple of accounts you can follow that kind of follow this stuff, because I was like going hard trying to find one. There was a couple of accounts I followed that specifically monitor this kind of stuff. So look into a bunch of those. There's a Kotaku article that lists a bunch of stuff. Just look like PS5 tracking or PS5 stock tracking, and they can follow it up. The Sony PlayStation Store one is called something specific, and I can't remember exactly what they call it, like what they call that process. What they do, though, is if you have a PlayStation Plus account, whenever this refresh happens, when they get something in stock, what they do is close the store so that nobody can log into the store. You can't directly get to the store at all. They just block it off completely, and then they set up this queue to enter the store. And if you have to CAPTCHA, you have to verify, you have to be a PlayStation Plus member to get into that queue. And from the queue, it's a raffle to be the first ones in to get a PlayStation. At that point, it's just whoever can click the fastest. But that's a roundabout way to beat all of the scalper bots that are just ruining any other public outlet. You know, because it's possible to still get them there, but it's still rough because the scalpers and those bots that they have that are buying up everything is still making things difficult, on top of the microchip shortages around the world are fucking things up too. So because they're not able to make replacements for what they're selling, so the product at this point is also in a shortage as well. I would like the last episode of What If Season 1 to incorporate all the previous episodes. See, I'm wondering what they're going to do with that, because the last episode, Season 1 was originally 10 episodes, and they had to cut an episode because they couldn't get it out in time. Because it wasn't ready because of the pandemic. So, like, are they still going to wrap it up that way? Was it episode 10? Did they take out maybe a different episode that maybe didn't come back around, that they'll just hold off for Season 2? I'm really curious if that's going to affect the finale at all, or what the finale is really going to be. Also, I think we will be up the Watcher's nose by the end, with how close he keeps getting every episode, probably. Venom 2, No Way Home, Morbius, Spider-Man 2 game, the Spider-Verse 2, Multiverse of Madness. A good time for Spider-Man fans, for sure, man. Definitely, I can get on board with that. Also, Kraven the Hunter. Nice catch there. Let's forget about that one coming. I'm really excited for Kraven. You know, coming into the game as well, and also getting his own movie. That'll be interesting. For the guy having trouble getting one, if you want one bad enough, pay what it costs if you want bad enough. That's what it did for me, and it was worth it. I almost caved and went for the scalper's price, which is almost double the base price. Like, it's like $1,100 to $1,200 US to buy what is a $500 console. If you want to get one through unofficial channels, which right now, outside of the PlayStation Store, it is like almost the only way to get one. So yeah, it just comes down to how bad you have and how much you got saved up. You think people would be excited for Star Wars Rogue Squadron? I have no idea, man. I feel like there's definitely I'm going to probably check it out regardless. I think it comes down to when it takes place and what kind of Star Wars movie it's going to be. Is it going to try to be contemporary to a time that does not exist in Star Wars? Or is it going to feel like a Star Wars movie? Because a lot of the modern Star Wars films have felt like more contemporary movies rather than Star Wars films. So, like, I don't know. If they'd play it like Rogue One and just keep it about like that, I think it'll do fine. It just depends. It really depends. Oh, your Blackfire Starfire theory makes sense. Corey used her powers to save Connor last season, so Blackfire sees that and is taking that energy back. Good time. Good hang, bro. Thank you. Talk to you later, Omni. Later, Philly. Take it easy, and thank you for hanging out, man. Let's see. All right, guys, let's shoot off some final questions. Thoughts, comments, And we'll get ready to close out the stream. This was a fun one. You know, chill. Lots of fun conversation for sure. Favorite superhero game? Well, for the longest time, it was the Arkham series. Specifically, I think Arkham, as far as the stories goes, I really prefer Arkham Asylum because it was very focused. But easily dethroned for me by Spider-Man. Marvel's Insomniac's Spider-Man for the PS4. I think that while it copied a lot of what the Arkham games did, down to the fighting, mostly the combat system, it took all of those ideas and concepts, refined them to an insane point, and added everything that I wish was in one of the Arkham games. And just did it so much, honestly, better. Sorry, Rocksteady. I mean, it's true. As much as I like them, I think they knocked it out of the park with by Insomniac. That was a game that I did not expect from that studio, and it was fantastic, and I loved it. And the story was so good, I got emotional playing it, and honestly teared up in both the first one and Miles Morales, man. So they did a really good job balancing the superhero stuff and telling a compelling story. Thank you, Marcus. James Cameron is not my guy. Yeah, I can feel you. I think his head's a little bit up his own ass these days. But then again, maybe it's not just these days. Maybe it's just more apparent lately. He's made some good films, but I feel like his best days are kind of behind him. But who knows? Could be wrong. What's up, Captain J? A little late, buddy. About to be signing off. Favorite MCU Avengers without powers? I mean, there's only 2, right? Well, no, 3 if you include Fury. 4 if you include Maria Hill. Does Shang-Chi count? Because he technically doesn't have powers without the rings. Except airbending. But we still don't know if that only works in Ta Lo or if he can do that outside of Ta Lo. I'll play fair. Out of all the non-powered Avengers, I mean, probably Hawkeye. Kind of Hawkeye. Let's see. I meant Avenger, not plural. Hawkeye. I knew what you meant, Stixie. Is Lawrence Fishburne in The Matrix as a surprise end credits scene? If not, could the Matrix Online story be his path? I think it could be, even though it's revealed that he survived that game. We also don't know how long it has been since the last time we saw them in the real world, because it might be years past. I think this movie is going to be set long into the future, and that Morpheus died of old age. And that this AI that we saw created in his image, because that's what I think that this is. I think this is some AI that was created in his image to continue his mission, you know? So I think he's part of the system. That's why he looks younger, why he's played by a different person, but it's still Morpheus in essence. But I think the real Morpheus is dead because, I mean, unless, again, we see this all the time with actors lying and stuff. Lawrence Fishburne has been pretty vocal about not being in it. Even, like, kind of upsetting about it, seemingly upset about not being asked to return for it. Could be fake, could be part of the ruse. He could still be in it, but don't know. This is the 7th Matrix, and Neo is from the 6th. Yeah, it is, but this is still the 6th one. He's just been reimplanted. We see that in the trailer. He's put back into the Matrix, so it's a new Matrix, same Neo. I still remember getting chills playing the opening of Arkham Asylum when you deliver the Joker into Arkham. I agree, man. It was a great opening. What's up, Crashing? The Arkham combat system copied Spider-Man 2, the video game. Then Arkham perfected it. Spider-Man 4 made it even better. Was it a similar combat? I played Spider-Man 2, the video game. I just don't remember the combat being like that. If so, sure, cool. It's all a copy of a copy of a copy, and it just ended up back being won by a Spider-Man game. Oh yeah, Iron Man, he doesn't have powers. Duh. Iron Man. Damn. Whoops. I don't know why I considered him a powered person. Quick question. What happened to Green Lantern's daughter? No one knows, and that's the question I keep seeing, and I keep asking every time we move forward in the show. Like, she was just there, she's hanging out at their house, she's living at their house, and then the next episode she's just gone, and she has not been mentioned once since. So I have no idea, man. Your question's as good as mine, or your answer's as good as mine. Favorite DCEU and MCU directors? Mine is Taika Waititi for Thor and James Gunn for Suicide Squad. As far as directors go, yes, James Gunn. James Gunn's my favorite director on both. I think, yeah, I lied. I agree with your choices. I agree with that. I think, yeah, I'll go with that for sure. I think I have to agree with you, Stixie. You put Keanu Reeves Constantine in the Arrowverse. I mean, you could. In the multiverse, he would exist somewhere. I agree. I heard he said that they didn't ask him to be in the Matrix. I think it could be in the future, maybe. Maybe. I think it's a future setting because we don't know how much time has passed in the human world. Because their bodies, obviously, Trinity and Neo. I don't know why it took me so long to get that. Their bodies are being preserved and restored. So they could be prolonged unnaturally while we don't know what happened to Morpheus and Zion. And sorry, John, I missed your comment earlier. The way I got mine was the stores where you could finance 90 days, same as you cash, make weekly or bi-weekly monthly payments, 90 days, and you have to pay the price. I haven't found any places that did anything like that, so might be a way to check it out. Demon Miles Morales suit in Spider-Man 2. Swinging around as a demon. I couldn't find any pictures, though. I'm not sure what you're talking about, to be honest. Great stream. Thank you, Kyle. All right, guys. Let's close it up. Again, just like with every weekend, who knows? I might pop back on later if I feel up to it, maybe playing a game or something like that, but it all comes down to how I'm feeling at the end of the night. So just kind of keep an eye out. Oh, real quick, John Owens, are you going to see Halloween in movies? Yes. I'm not going to watch it on Peacock. I'm going to go see Halloween. Halloween's my favorite horror franchise, so I'm going to go see Michael Myers in theaters. If it's an option, I'm going to go see it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the super chats. My guys, thank you all so much for your support, and hopefully we can hang out again soon. With things coming down, getting some help with some of the videos, we might be able to have some more streams just kind of low-key whenever, hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see. Playing it by ear, but keep an eye out. Might be back. We'll see. Take care, everybody.